Panca Sila, 5. Pancha means 5. Sila, Pali word. The meaning of this word, Sila, although we use the word precept, actually it is not very accurate. It does not give the real meaning of this word Sila used by the Buddha. Sila means training or discipline, the meaning of this word Sila. So not precept actually. So why do we use this word Sila? Also very meaningful. Naturally, as our habits, we like to do bad things. So it is our habits. It is our Sila. Our Sila means our habits. So we like to do bad things. By observing this, we try to train ourselves not to do that. That is why it is called Sila. Now you realize the meaning. So the word precept never give that meaning. All these English words that we use to introduce the technical terms of the word used by the Buddha actually never give the real meaning. We have to create the meaning. So, this we can understand from our childhood. How we do bad things, or how we do mistake. Not necessary for us to learn from another person purposely. Automatically we learn, having seen or having heard. We learn all the bad things because we are used to it. How can we say that we are used to it? During our previous birth, life after life, we have done more mistakes, more bad things than good things. Since we have accumulated certain good karma to be born as human beings, today we are here as human beings. Even then, in our subconscious mind, that inclination, that liking towards evil things, bad things, very easily can influence our mind to do bad things. So we have to use our full effort to avoid or not to do. That is why we say to do certain thing is not very difficult, but not to do is more difficult. That means we are used to do certain bad things. That is why this Sila is important. Even then, let us take these 5. So simple. But how many people can observe without violating or without breaking? To live in this world, to enjoy our life, to make money, to become rich, people violate all the 5 Silas. Then what do they say? So what to do? For our living, we had to do that. No other choice. And that is the only excuse. All right? By violating all these silas or precepts, we try to live. Live for what? For what purpose? What do we gain by living and violating all our religious principles? That means we commit more and more bad deeds, and we violate again and again and again. The more we live, the more we commit evil. That is the purpose of living. So great people who really understood what this life is, the nature of this life, the nature of existence, nature of worldly life, decide or make up their mind even to sacrifice that life to uphold their religious principles. To them, life is not that important, but religious principles are more important. For the sake of life, they don't like to break the precept or the principle. So when you study the previous birth stories of the Buddha or Jataka stories, this we can understand as a bodhisattva, a person who had been working, cultivating, developing, training himself to become a Buddha, never violated basic religious principles in order to protect his life. To him, that life is not the most important thing, because that life come into existence again. Because this is not the last one. Then why do we want to violate the principles? When once we violate our principles, we have to suffer, that life has to suffer for a long period. When once we try to uphold our religious principles, we suffer only once, only that life. And thereafter, free from suffering because that person did not commit or violate religious principles. This is the way how they measure the value of life in this way and value of religious principles in this way. Of course, we are worldly minded. We are bound to this world. We are willing to commit any mistake in order to protect our life. It is natural. Why did I say it is natural? When you study modern psychology, you can understand how they analyze our life and why we exist here. What are the sources behind? But they have no idea about religious principles. By using their knowledge and common sense and understanding, they have given this interpretation. But when we analyze this, we can understand that they have come very nearer to the Buddha, according to their analysis. They say, we have three kinds of forces in our mind for us to exist. Libido, self-preservation, and suicide instinct. These are the three. But these three things, in wider sense, very meaningful way, the Buddha has elaborated and explained earlier. But these psychologists have realized only one aspect. Libido. Concentrate more on sexual life. Pleasure, sexual pleasure, that word libido. The Buddha used another word for that. That means kama tanha. Craving for sensual pleasure. Now see, sensual pleasure means any kind of pleasure that we experience through our five senses as well as by using our mind. Indulging. We entertain our senses and mind by adopting, by taking external objects. This is sensual pleasure to the Buddha. But psychologists introduce only libido, more on sexual side. Next one, self-preservation. Every living being, even tiniest creature in this world, maintain something for their protection, for their survival. Certain animals or creatures or flies have some sort of poisons. Some creatures have very sharp teeth. Some others have very sharp nails. Some others have so many other things very rough and tough. And some others have some sort of poisonous liquid. This I have seen one day. Do you know frogs? They haven't got weapons with them. No sharp teeth, and cannot attack like poisonous snake or any other creatures, but they do have something to protect themselves. Many people do not know this. They squeeze some juice from their body, poisonous juice. When enemies come to catch them, and they become bigger and bigger and bigger, and we cannot understand why they become bigger and bigger and bigger like this. At that time they produce this juice. This I have noticed here in this temple. We had a stupid dog here, not a wise one. One day, by this time, big frogs, enter into the veranda of our monk's quarter. This fellow was going on jumping, and this dog suddenly jumped, tried to catch this frog. Then the frogs, go like this, then the dog withdrew. After withdrawing, I found out the dog just go through the nose. After that, that dog never approached another frog from that day onwards. See, every creature got something. Self-preservation. So, human beings, when we were in the jungle, or what we call a stone age, we too had very sharp teeth and nails and so many things. When the mind started to develop, and when we become cultured living beings or human beings, we have lost our weapons, used only mind. So we are using only mind for our protection, because many things we can understand by thinking, understanding, And instincts also. Animals have very strong instinct to escape or to find out their requisite. We have lost that instinct, but still maintain little bit. Very lesser degree of instincts we have. The more our brain and the mind started to develop, the more we are using only mind but not the instincts or any other things. So this is for self-preservation. But psychologists can give only this interpretation. So when you refer to the Buddha, he has used another meaningful word that is called bhavatanha. Bhava means becoming or existence. Craving for existence. Craving for survival or living. Not only that, further. Craving for eternity, immortality. It is a craving. That means we don't like to die. We like birth, but we don't like death. But it doesn't work, not practical at all. If birth is there, definitely there must be death. We cannot have birth without death. Because of our craving, we maintain such idea in our mind that there is or there must be a place for us to go and rest forever without changing. All the other existing religions accepted this. So the Buddha is the only religious teacher who said there is no such place. Because of our craving, we need, we pray, we develop this anxiety that we must reach a place where there is no death, no old age, no sicknesses, no trouble, no problem, where we can enjoy our life forever. It is craving. This is the word used by the Buddha. Crave bhava tanha, our craving for existence, craving for living. Earlier I explained craving for pleasure is one aspect. This is craving for living. Not only this life. Craving for our next life. It is a craving. Now after our death, we want to be born in a very rich family to enjoy our life. It is craving. After our death, we want to go to heaven to enjoy our life. It is a craving. So according to the Buddha, we are not free from mental defilement. If mind is not free from defilement, there is no complete liberation, complete freedom, complete salvation. It is a craving. Then the last one is very complicated. Psychologists say suicide instinct. So every living being maintains this instinct. Self-annihilation. To commit suicide. Human beings also have this instinct. There are many other living beings who commit suicide. In thousands. Birds, frogs, fishes. There are so many living beings that are noticeable. Unknown one, there are many. After a certain period, they commit suicide. They die purposely. Rats, I heard in Australia, they go on increasing certain kind of rats in the jungle in millions and billions. And one day, so many 100,000 of them just run away and get into the sea and die, commit suicide, all of them. That is what psychologists say, suicide instinct. Frogs, and there are so many frogs in a certain areas of paddy field. Sometimes you can see they divide into two gangs and attack each other and kill each other. Now, human beings are attacking each other. They give their own reasons. They say they want land, they want more authority, more power, more freedom. They have certain excuses. But it has become some sort of instincts or habits to kill others. Indian philosophy analyzes this, but we cannot agree with that. When population increase, if people do not die or do not face natural death, God creates some sort of upheaval or disaster or epidemic or war to reduce the population. As Buddhists, when we analyze, actually to us this is a cock and bull story. Because they also believe that God created them. At the same time, God destroyed them. Then what is the position of God here now? He must know the limit of his creation. Why does he want to create more and more? And killing means suffering, torturing. Therefore, to us there is no meaning at all. There are many others whenever there are some problems. Disaster. I say, what to do is the will of God. I really cannot understand what sort of will is that. There is a peculiar saying, assume that air crash or vehicles, bus or motor car, many people die on the spot. One or two escape. Then, you know what they say? That God says. Is there any justification of saving only these two people and allow others to die? On what ground? Now, is there any reason for God to allow other people to die and save only these two people or the one person? From the Buddhist point of view, we can assume we believe in God. At the same time, we also believe karma. Hindus do that. The God acts according to our own karma. Punishment and reward come to us from God according to our karma, not according to his wish or will. Yes, all the others had to die because they have done very bad karma or killed many others during their previous birth. Therefore God wanted to punish them. But these two have not done that. Therefore God saved them. Very reasonable. But to them there is no previous birth. This is the only human life. There is no karma. There are no bad karmas committed by us during our previous birth, according to the followers of all these religions. So how are we going to justify this? Very seldom people use their common sense to analyze this kind of thing unbiasedly. yes, Jesus, God save us. So one day, when I was going to Singapore by plane, I think maybe 1 year ago, our plane, suddenly dropped air pocket. And all those people, nearly 200 passengers, I think, mostly ladies and children, started cheering, shouting. And I got up and said, don't make noise, nothing will happen. Everybody looked at me, who is this fellow? Believe me, everybody kept quiet. Because I gave that confidence. Because of the natural fear arise at once. And at that time there must be a very strong antidote. I shouted at them, don't make noise, nothing will happen to you. As if that I know nothing will happen. And this is the way how to give confidence. So, we must have some sort of courage, knowledge to face, instead of referring to God and devils for everything. It is our weakness, lack of understanding. So, now I am talking about committing suicide. So animals also commit suicide. And human beings attack each other and kill for nothing. Not only that, committing suicide when they could not gain what they wanted, when they could not tolerate their disappointment or frustration, they think better to commit suicide and finish it. They think they can see the end of their problem, but it is a silly idea. They won't be able to see the end of their problem because they have departed from this world with polluted mind, with confusion, with frustration, with unhappiness. If we die when the mind is polluted or deluded, it is very difficult for us to have a better rebirth, because rebirth consciousness, when you die, our consciousness, our mental energy, supported by the karmic energy and also supported by cosmic energies, so many energies are there. If the mental energy is dirty, wicked, it is very difficult to have a better rebirth, to become either human being or devas or fortunate life. And many of them in a spirit form, you regard them as ghost, a spirit, devil, very unfortunate living being because of the impurities of that mental life. They cannot understand those who decide to commit suicide thinking that they can see the end of their problems and worries and worsen the situation. They invite more trouble. So that is not the solution. Then, so committing suicide means unsatisfied craving. So you cannot say there is no craving. Craving is behind. Another aspect, this is more dangerous. Many people do not know that we have certain habits in our mind that we would like to destroy many things which are useful or usable, but we don't like others to use these things. Either we burn them or destroy or throw away. This is under this. Craving is behind. There are many who cannot tolerate that if they cannot use, what they do, they destroy. they burn. Don't allow others to use. This is under this Vibhavatanda. Craving for non-existence is under this. Alright? We can take simple example. One can understand this very clearly. Boyfriend and girlfriends. The boy comes to know that his girlfriend is associating with another boy. Now the boy cannot tolerate this. He got his own reason, that is different. So if his jealousy, his craving is intolerable, he can kill that girl. Because he doesn't like to see that another boy associate with this girl. This is under this. Craving for non-existence. See, how many poisonous, dangerous habits are there in our mind. Now you can understand why we use this word Sila to train that mind. All these are hidden devils in our mind. They are sleeping. But circumstances, temptations, irritation, provoke, disturb. At that time, we forget our religion, we forget our Sila, we forget our education, behave as devils at that time. That is why Sila is important. To train and train and tame this mind. Now you can understand the meaning of Sila. With the Panca Sila or 8 precepts or 5 precepts, why these are important. Then, now you have realized the interpretations given by the modern psychologist and the vast interpretations given by the Buddha and how he analyzed our existence and the nature of our mind and why it is difficult for us to train our mind. Just now I mentioned, we have certain bad habits. We know they are bad, they are wrong, they are harmful, but very difficult for us to give up. This is the nature of our bad habits, experience. Now let us take one who is used to drink. Goes on drinking and drinking and drinking. He knows very well this is very bad and very bad for my health and ruins my family and going against my religious principle. Even then he had no courage to stop it. Now this is the danger of mind. This is due to our habits, mental habits. So Sila is to concentrate, to understand, to observe not as a law or commandment given by a supernatural living beings or God or religious authorities. Here the difference now. When we observe certain religious principles as a law, religious law, what to do? We have to observe these are the laws or commandments in our religion. It is just like obeying the traffic light. When you drive your motor car, when red light appears, you don't like it. Cannot escape. Just because of punishment, you observe. Otherwise, you have no understanding at that time. Why is it necessary for me to observe this? You never think, if I break this law, I may hurt others or damage others' vehicle or life. That is why it is necessary for me to observe this. You never regard it this way. It is a law. If possible, you break it. Whether there is any policeman around this area, shoot. This is the nature of the religious law, how they violate. Then some others observe just because fear of punishment. They were taught that God will punish them if they violate. That is why they are known as commandments. If there is no such punishment from God, you can do anything whatever you like, whether good or bad, wicked or cruel, immoral, you don't care. That means there is no understanding, there is no Sila, there is no discipline, there is no mental training. You think only about your punishment. That is selfishness. For your own benefit, for your own protection, you don't want to violate, but you never think of others. By doing this, I create suffering. I disturb others. It is bad. It is inhuman. It is cruel. Never think in that way. Oh, I don't like to do this. If I do this, God will punish me. Selfishness. That is not religion to us. If you can say, I don't like to do this because I can understand it is bad. Why it is bad? This action can create enormous suffering, pain. Therefore, I don't want to do this. Now, how many things you have cultivated in your mind by thinking in this way? First, you analyze and understood that this is wrong. Understanding is there. Then, without developing your cruelty and anger or greed, you consider, analyze this in sympathetic way. Then you develop your mental attitude, your understanding. Then your kindness, your sympathy, your understanding, good qualities are there in your mind. When you think only about your punishment, you never cultivate any of these good qualities in your mind, only for your protection. You don't want to do this. This is the difference between Buddhism, Buddhist precept or Sila, and commandment and religious laws. As Buddhists, we never say we have religious laws in Buddhism. No religious law. They are not laws given by another person. What is the Buddha's advice? He said, I am giving these advices for you to consider, to understand why these things are bad and why these things are good. But you can understand. I am giving these advices not as a theory of philosophy or psychology or as a tradition or belief according to my own experience, which is more meaningful and practical. Others can say they got this message from heaven, that's all. The Buddha says, I did not get any message from heaven. My own experience. I can understand how I had to suffer life after life for making mistake, committing evil, or committing bad karma. That experience is more than enough for you to understand why it is bad. Again he says, I can understand how I enjoyed my life and what sort of happiness and peace and calmness that I am experiencing today because of my good deeds. So I am telling you according to my own experience. You also can understand this according to your own experience. There is nothing for us to take as theories or philosophy or messages or commandments. Practical advices. And now let us come to these 5 principles. They are not only for the Buddhist. These principles are for the whole mankind. Since the Buddha has pointed out, introduced, we say these are the Buddhist principles. They are not Buddhist principles. There you can find universal value, not Buddhist value. See how narrow-minded, how selfish we are, human beings. When we are divided into different groups according to our respective religion, how we discriminate, how we look down upon the other religious group. Take for instance, here in this crowd, assume there are many Christians and Muslims and Hindus and Buddhists. This is not a temple, this is a public gathering. Then somebody announced that today this reverend is going to give a Buddhist talk, explain the 5 precepts, 5 principles. Now then, Christians and Muslims and some others say, no, we don't know. They walk out. Because they are Buddhist principles. They don't know. They say it is against their religion. Then, another announcement. You say, now Christian priest is going to give a talk on commandment. He also come and tell, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not tell lie, only thou shalt not is there. The rest are the same. That is Christianity. And Buddhists also say, no, we are not interested, it is Christianity. See how stupid we are. This is called prejudice, jealousy, narrow-minded. We do not know how to appreciate truth unbiasedly. Our biased attitude always creates this division. The Buddha has given this warning not to behave like this. He says, if you can find truth anywhere, in any religion, accept it is the truth. Don't think, it is not in our religion, therefore we should not accept. But others cannot. Even Buddhists also cannot. This is the nature. There are some others who have no religions, no religious labels, not belong to any particular religion. They also can understand that these things are wrong. They never try to justify just because they are not belong to any of these religions, that there is nothing wrong, you can kill, you can steal, you can commit adultery, you can do anything whatever you like. No. Even those so-called free thinkers who don't like religion also appreciate these principles. That is why I told you, they are universal principles, common to every human being. Of course, animals, they cannot understand these precepts, irrespective of their religion. Then, take one by one. The difficulty, no doubt, 3 or 4 times a day. The question is, why is it necessary for us to observe so many times a day? Now, if you conduct 3 or 4 meetings, morning, afternoon and evening, every time you observe 5 precepts, as if that you have violated within 1 or 2 hours' time all the precepts. That's why I told you it is a tradition. Traditional practice, no harm. That's why I told you it is a tradition. Traditional practice, no harm. The only answer that we can give is this. Remind, these are your principles. No harm at all. Again and again and again you can remind. Not to kill, not to steal, not to do this, not to do this. These are your principles. You can repeat 100 times a day. Who can say it is wrong? It is very good. The trouble is, when you come to practice, the difficulties. I told you, you are leading a worldly life, family life, household life. There are a lot of problems, hindrances, difficulties for you to observe all these precepts without breaking. Now this is the problem. Only answer that I can give is this. First you must understand the nature of your life, what sort of work you are doing for your living or earning or enjoyment. Depend on your way of life. Certain things you have to do, although you can understand these things are wrong. But we have no other choice. We can say for our living, we have to do this. We have to support our family, our children. We don't like to go and beg like beggars. So we have no any other work. Whether right or wrong, we have to do this. And this is the answer, your justification. Now, another important point. So when you study all the other religions and how they try to introduce their commandment and religious law, and how the Buddha advised us and conveyed his message, again there is a difference. Others say you should not do this. It is a law. Therefore they say, sorry, what to do? We cannot do this. Our religion says we cannot do this. It is religious law. The Buddha never used this word. You can read the whole teaching, 45 years teaching. The Buddha never said, you should not do this. No. He never said, this is the law. This is my law. This is the Buddhist law. No. He used very gentle language to explain kindly. There were many occasions where he used advice in this way. How nice if you can keep away this bad deed. See the language he used. How nice if you can keep away from these bad deeds. Then he says, if you do that, if you commit, I am not going to punish you. There is no such thing. You have violated a universal law, existing universal law. It is not my law or Buddhist law. This law is common to every human being. Now everybody says killing is bad. There is nobody who says yes, very good. That is why I say universal value. Universally accepted that it is wrong. So all these 5 precepts are like this. Then, if you violate, you have to pay or you have to face the consequences or the bad effect. That is the nature of that bad action. It is natural. Can you understand this? So that is not a punishment given by the Buddha. Whether you have a religion or not. If you violate certain things, you have to face the consequences. Like this. Assume there's a shortage, electric wire, current leakage. A wise man who can understand, who knows the danger of this, advise. Please don't touch this wire, it is dangerous. Right? Then understanding people obey. Listen, yes, it is dangerous. So we should not touch this. Some others say, oh, we don't believe it. If not small children, innocent children who do not know anything, they go and touch this. Do you think that electricity forgive this innocent child just because he is innocent? How can electricity punish that innocent child, a baby? If not a stupid man or madman who cannot understand the danger of this, go and touch, get electric shock. When we violate this universal law, it is exactly like this electricity. Remember this, it is unbiased. Universal law is not kind, neither cruel. You cannot find cruelty or kindness in the universal law, it is unbiased. So our duty is to understand this. This universal law is like this. So we must know how to handle, how to work with this. The duty of the Buddha is, he is not the one who created all these laws, they exist. But as a wise man, what he has done, explain to us the danger of all these existing universal laws. On the other hand, he also pointed out many other positive signs. Universal law, also common to whole mankind, which are useful, pleasant, peaceful. What are they? Also not belong to any particular religion, not created by God or any religion. Take for instance, when you cultivate your kindness, you are a very kind-hearted person. That means there is no cruelty in your mind or in your heart. So if you are kind, there's no cruelty or selfishness in your mind, you never disturb another living being. You cannot do this because you are kind. And now you are harmonizing. You cooperate with that existing universal law. You adjust yourself to harmonize with that existing law. Then what will happen? So many others in return contribute many things to harmonize with you. And then harmony, cooperation, understanding, these good qualities we can see. And this reputation spread amongst others. They say, this is a harmless person. This person never harm another person. Then they trust you. See how they come closer to you. They like to assist you, support you. Not only human beings. Then slowly other living beings, animals, birds, even fierce animals, the power of radiations of this kindness and compassion influence their mind, and they also do not harm you. See, universal values there. And this is the way how the Buddha has introduced these negative and positive universal values as religious values. Not confined only to Buddhism or Buddhism. Anybody who practices this can experience it. Let us take another one. Honesty is another principle where we can find universal value. The follower of any religion in this world, and those who have no religions also, really appreciate when they come to know that you are honest. You never bluff, swindle, cheat, steal others. So when they come to know you are a man of principle, you can understand how they respect you, how they trust you, how they support you. This is the way how we experience the good result by observing these principles. Alright, now take first precept. Pānātipātā Veramani Sikkhapadan Samadhiya. Prana. Prana is not living beings. Usually we interpret as living beings. There are many living beings in this world in the process of developing to become fully developed life. That is why the Buddha has used this word prana, prana. Prana is not life. More advanced. Because there are so many living things. They are not fully developed life. Now let us take germs, virus, bacteria, life. You can see life there, but we cannot regard them as fully developed life. They are not under this prana. We don't violate any sila by destroying them. They are not fully developed life. That is why again the Buddha said, don't go to extreme. Religion can become real nuisance to all of us if we go to extreme. Don't go to extreme. You must know the meaning of this word, prana. Psychophysical. Combinations of fully developed mind and physical side, elemental side. When these two groups join together, then fully developed life can be seen. Below that level, if certain degrees are missing, we cannot regard them as fully developed life. Then, when we violate, there are conditions. To break this precept or this Sila, there must be 5 conditions. Simply we cannot violate at once. We may kill thousands or millions of living beings without violating this precept. What are the conditions? There are 5. First, we must know that this living being got a life. You must know this. Because there are many living things, look like living things, but there is no life. Can be a dead body, but we think there is life. But there must be life. There must be a life, and we must know there is life. These 2 things must be there. Otherwise we cannot commit this. If there is no another life, we cannot commit. If we do not know it is a life, we cannot commit it. We may kill, but we never had the idea that there is life. Third one, the idea that we create in our mind that we want to kill. We must implant that idea. Without creating this in our mind, how many thousands of living beings that we kill every day. But we never commit any sins or any bad karma. Because we never create idea in our mind that we want to kill. Take for instance, that somebody comes to attack you or kill you. But you don't want to kill. But you struggle, you fight to protect yourself and control him. So in the process of this battle, you may kill him. But you never had the idea in your mind that you want to kill. You have not committed that. But because of your action, that person died. But you are solely not responsible for the death, since you have not created the idea. Of course, from the law point of view, the government can punish you, because they never consider this. Even then, the judge consider this very seriously. Whether you had any grudge or hatred or ill will or idea to kill this man, when you come to know, suddenly your anger flare up, you could not control it, and you attack this man. If the judge come to know this, they never give you the death penalty, sentence to life imprisonment. That is the law. That is called culpable homicide. Now see, the law also cooperates with the Buddha's teaching here. So idea must be there. Accidentally, we kill any kind of living beings or human being. Because of our action, many others may die. If we have not created the idea in our mind that we want to kill them, we cannot create bad karma. Third one. Next one. The method. There must be some sort of action, either by shooting or beating or stabbing or poisoning. There must be some sort of method. Simply by thinking that you want to kill, you cannot commit this. You pollute your own mind. For that you had to pay the price. But not act of killing. You think that you want to kill, but you have not done anything. So that thought itself cannot create this bad karma. You have polluted the purity of your mind. There must be some sort of method. Then, last one. You have completed all the 4 factors, but did not complete the last one. First thing, you knew that there is a lie. And it is true, definitely there is lie. You created idea in your mind that you want to kill. And you adapted some sort of method to kill. But that fellow didn't die. You have not completed. And what will happen to you? For all the 4 evil thoughts and efforts that you have created earlier, you had to face certain consequences or not. Not sure. If you have certain other good karmas, and those good karmas can topple them, because they are very weak, not completed. Uncertainty of them. If that person or that animal die because of your action, after fulfilling all the other 4, then 5 factors are completed. Then this will become heavy karma, not easy to wipe out, not easy to topple, become strong, because you have completed all the 5 factors. See how systematically justifiable way the Buddha has introduced this. So much freedom is there for us to reason out, to understand. And all the other 5 precepts are like this. We have to complete one by one all the factors. Then the effect, others say punishment. We use the word punishment. It isn't punishment. It is the reaction or the effect of the action that you have violated by disturbing the universal law. An example is given when you throw a stone into a water pond. The vibration, you can see the waves, you know how they go one after the other, one after the other, up to the bank, reach the other side of the bank, a spread. But there is nobody to carry these waves. That is the reaction of our action, throwing stone. Reach the bank, the other side. That is the effect. So there is no God or devil behind this. It is natural. So when we violate any of these existing universal laws, the vibration that we have created by violating it, exactly like we create like waves, and in the end, the effect. So now, the precepts are for us to train our mind by knowing naturally we like them, to strengthen our mind, to train our mind by knowing they are bad. That is called understanding, right understanding. There is nothing to think about punishment. Those who cannot analyze, cannot understand, this is the only way to keep away from bad karmas or violating. They have to think, if I do this, I had to suffer. Therefore, I don't want to do this. At least something. They are like small children. A small children cannot understand why these things are wrong. So parents or elders or teachers tell them, if you do this, we beat you, we punish you. And now they are scared of punishment or beating, so they don't want to do that. But still they cannot understand why they are bad. So those who observe their commandment and precept or sila, only thinking about their punishment, are exactly like small children. They cannot understand. fear of God, fear of punishment, no understanding. 9:30. Anyway, I explain only one precept. I think this is enough for example, model. All the others are also exactly like this. If you violate any of them, not only these 5, there are many others. But the Buddha is very understanding, very compassionate religious teacher. He knew your difficulties, your problems as lay people or householder, that you cannot observe so many precepts. These 5 also too much for you. So to apply in your day-to-day life, too much. For that also you should not create any disappointment, thinking that you are not good Buddhist because occasionally you may drink, you may gamble, and you may bluff others a little bit here and there, and swindling, cheating, these are natural, very common now. So what do you have to do? The worldly life is like this. Even then we have to face a little bit of disturbances here and there for the bad deeds that we have done. So we try our best as much as possible that we can. Then go on cultivating. The more you grow old, according to your maturity, your understanding, your knowledge, your experience, then slowly you can. This is the practical way. Don't try to jump at once and don't go to extreme. Your way of life also becomes nuisance to your family members and others. In other words, don't try to be too good. Not practical.
Sakasattha Jabummattha Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditta Jirang Rakhantu Lokasasanam Ittavata Chammehi Sambatang Punya Sampadang Sabbi Devanumodantu Sabba Sampatti Siddhya Devo Asvatu Kalena Sassa Sampatti Hetu Ca Pito Bhavatu Loko Ca Raja Bhavatu Dhammiko Idango Nyati Nangotu Sakitavantu Nyatayo Imina Punya Kammena Mami Bala Samagamo Satang Samagamo Hotu Yava Nibbana Paptiya